Hey guys, just got done doing 100 burpees in about 10 minutes. It was a fucking hell of a workout. So, that's a workout regardless of how good a shape you think you're in. That will absolutely rock you. So I'm feeling good. And I'm making this video today because I had a good conversation with a good friend of mine yesterday who's, we were talking while I was at the weight room lifting, got my cordless headset on, and, we were talking about, a unique phenomena that's been going on in the dating sphere. And, look, I'm not saying this to judge anybody, because I've done it myself, and I'll admit that. But this, I think this is especially prominent in big cities. And what I'm talking about is basically paying for sex. Whether it's straight up going to a brothel, or going on Seeking Arrangement, or OnlyFans, or going to the strip club and fucking a stripper, or going to Colombia or Costa Rica or Thailand and fucking call, street girls out there, and I've done all those things. I'm not proud of those things. People say I shouldn't say that. But look, you know what? It's just part of my story. It doesn't define me. But a lot of guys have either, and I don't do this anymore. I mean, it's been years since I've done this, but I've done it. And a lot of guys do it pretty regularly, especially down here in Miami. And I understand the mindset. I understand the proclivity towards engaging in something like that versus traditional dating, because it's much more straightforward. It's much more transparent. But just because something is straightforward and just because something is transparent doesn't mean that it's honest. And I'm going to explain why. And this is an important thing to understand. You go on Seeking Arrangement, you go on one of these websites, you contact some girl, she contacts you, you talk offline, you get you work out the deal, whatever it's going to be, wherever it's going to go down, and you do that. Now, obviously, the guy is rationalizing it to himself by saying, well, you know what? I could go on a dinner date and it would cost me, in Miami, cost me $300. And I might not even get a fucking peck on the cheek. And I just wasted all that time and preparation and, basically getting rid of nothing, getting ready for nothing. Versus, I could just work out the deal on the front end, not have to deal with any of the bullshit, and get what I want. And that's the rationalization that the man makes. And the reason why this is lacking in self-honesty is because no guy wants to pay for sex. No guy wants to have to do that. But guys do that because they think that there's either because there's no other option, or because the dating market has been so slanted in the favor of women, and they're just sick and tired of dealing with the bullshit. I get it. And look, and the guys I know that do this are not losers either. My friend was a former professional baseball player. It's a good-looking guy, intelligent, successful, owns his own business, has a nice place. I mean, he's fit. He's a confident guy, great all-around guy. But you know what? At the end of the day, I get it. You work all day, you work all week, you work hard, and it's like you come home and then you got to deal with the bullshit of some woman that wants to compete with you and wants to dick measure with you and whatever. And I know it gets very fucking stressful. So I understand and I'm sympathetic to that perspective. But the reason why it's lacking in self-honesty is because what the guy really wants is a girl that looks like whoever he's paying for, because obviously he's paying because he thinks she's hot and he wants to fuck her. Let's be real, okay? So he's paying for the sex, but what he really wants, he wants to have sex with this girl because there's mutual attraction, because he wants to do it out of his own volition and she wants to do it out of her own volition. Right? Because I was talking to my buddy about this, and he's like telling me about this one girl, that one of his regulars that comes over, and he's telling me like, man, this girl's gorgeous, she's super hot. Now she kind of cooks for me, I realize she looks exactly the way I would want, but like, the old adage, right? Hip hop doesn't lie sometimes. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife, so that it's just not a viable option now. Because that's the thing, dude. A man, it's not good for a man to be alone. I know it says it in the Bible somewhere. A man wants to come home to his woman, and his woman takes him away from all the fucking stresses of the work day and all the bullshit, and going out and doing and traveling together and building a life together. That's a lot more what a lot of guys want, but a lot of guys have convinced themselves that it's not going to happen, that it's not possible, that feminism has destroyed this, that the hypergamy and the fact that society is in large part very gynocentric. Like, we all know this stuff, right? And it's not because any of that's not true, but that has really convinced a lot of guys to just wave the white flag and say, you know what, hey, it is what it is. I'm going to do me. I'm going to fuck bad bitches for money, and I don't give a fuck, because I don't have to commit to them. I don't have to put up with their fucking stupid games. I don't have to go back and forth with the text messaging, with the witty banter. I hate all that shit. I don't like the game. And I think most guys don't, because it's very counter to how men communicate naturally. Men communicate in a direct way. Like, what you say is what you mean, and you better like fall through with that. Women don't mean what they say. Women communicate indirectly. So, but the game is a form of communication that's very indirect. It's very soft. It's very light, and especially a lot of masculine energy is very rough and hard and rugged. And like I always say, like, even certain terrains tend to be more masculine and feminine. Like, you look at, like, when someone says I'm from Colorado or Arizona or Montana, West Virginia, we call them a mountain man. If someone's from Miami or LA and they're a beach guy, we call them a beach boy. Is there a reason we don't say mountain boy and beach man? Because the mountain is more manly. It's rugged, it's rough, it's wild, it's, the beach is gentle and soft and light and wavy. And I'm personally, I mean, I like the beach like once a month. I'm really more into I've always, been into the mountains, and I plan on moving back out west pretty soon. But that's just an analogy in and of itself. I don't want to get off track. I tend to do that. But let's go ahead. But so that's the dishonesty that that the man is lying to himself, saying that he's okay with just paying for pussy because he knows that at least he's going to get what he wants. You're not getting what you want. You're paying for something that ultimately may look on the surface like it's what you want, but it's like trying to grasp water with your hands and hold on to the water, and by cupping your hands, it's going to go right through the cracks of your hands. You hold on to it for a very small amount of time. So it's tantalizing at best, and it's a trick, right? It's an illusion. Now the woman, the woman is being dishonest with herself as well, because the woman is saying, hey, I don't give a fuck. Most of these guys are a bunch of fucking pieces of shit. All they want to do is fuck me, and then they'll never call me. So you know what? If I'm going to give this pussy up, I'm going to get paid for it, because I'm not going to let some fucking scumbag guy just sweet talk me into bed and then never call me again. So the woman is and the woman justifies it by look at my brand new, Mercedes. Look at my apartment in Brickell. Look at this $20,000, $40,000, whatever, necklace that I got. Look at this $50,000 Rolex. How do you think I got that? I got that by being a prostitute, by selling my body, by selling my soul. But the lie is that what a woman really wants is they want a man that will fulfill the role of a man towards her, being loyal, being a provider, being a protector, being there for her, being reliable, being a partner, building a life together, right? Maybe children if that's what you want. So all of these justifications are all bullshit, and they're all coming from a place of hurt on both sides. We're all victims here, and we're all also at the same time we're all victimizing each other because we're hurt. And as much as they try to fucking prod a stick at the fucking race car bear and get it and try to poke that bear, I think the bigger bear, the more aggressive bear that's really being poked is the war between men and women. And the reality is that no one's winning. It may seem like women are winning, that they can fuck they can get laid whenever they want, they got their own money now, they're independent. But you know what? I'm 36 and I've dated a lot of girls my age, and I'm telling you right now, I don't give a fuck about what kind of BMW they have, or what floor they're on their fucking dumbass Brickell apartment and down here in Miami, or how expensive their clothes are, or how expensive their apartment is, or how much money they make a year, or what letters they have next to their name framed on mahogany. They, by and large, are fucking miserable, because you cannot artificially override your biological nature. And the nature is to seek security, is to seek harmony, is to seek love, is to seek community, family. That's what's natural. And that's being eroded today because out of some warped, crazy, diabolical type of thinking that says that, men and women are enemies, and we're constantly at each other's throat. Hold on one second. Just making sure the dogs are okay. And I don't claim to fully know what the solution is, but I goddamn sure know what the problem is, and I know what is not the solution. And what's not the solution is to keep deluding yourself into believing that going out and selling your pussy for money, or going out there and paying big bucks so that you can go fuck some hot girl, is not gonna do it. It's a black hole. It never ends. It gets addictive because it's a drug. You feel good in the moment, and then as soon as she leaves, you're fucking miserable. Because you're never going to see her again. You know that you just did something that's morally reprehensible, and that's totally unjustifiable. Even though a lot of guys will co-sign your bullshit for you. They will. They'll tell you, hey, you know what? You got an itch, you got to scratch it sometimes. It is what it is. You're going to pay for it one way or the other. You're going to pay for it on dinner dates, or you're going to pay for it straight up. Might as well do it straight up. And that's the words of someone who's not being honest with themselves. And it took me a long time to see this, because I was one of those guys. I did not give a fuck. I'd play girls, I would manipulate women, I didn't care, because the only thing I cared about was scoring. The only thing I cared about was getting laid. And you know what? And it just, I get it. It's part of the whole male thing to conquer. And that's, it's not really even about the sex as much as it's about the conquest. But then you start to realize that, like, what are you really conquering? but a little bit of, very ephemeral, transitory pleasure. It's really not making you happy and doing for you what you think it's doing for you. And what you need to, in my opinion, I think what's more important is to look at your life and look at yourself and say, what do I ultimately want? Because one day I'm going to be 40. And then the next day I wake up, I'm going to be 45. And then the next day I wake up, I'm going to be 50. And so on and so forth. And what the fuck have I done? Okay, I made some money. I traveled. I've done activities that I enjoy, whatever. Read books. But I think that what gives meaning to life is being useful. Even if it's just being able to give wise counsel to somebody. Somebody comes to you and they got a problem, and they're in need of good counsel, and you're able to give that to them. That's invaluable. So I think it's seeking to become that. I think it's seeking to find a place and find a calling and find a purpose, to commit to where with your unique gifts and talents and abilities and interests, you can become all you can to humanity and the world. I think that's a really noble way to think. And so that's what I would challenge. I'm challenging myself, and I also would challenge anybody else that I think that's a really a worthwhile thing to pursue. And with that, I got to get to work. It's New Year's Eve. Last 2 clients of the year. This was a good year. This is a very fruitful year. The crop yield was pretty good this year. Very grateful for that. And hoping that next year will be even more fruitful for not only myself, but all of my viewers. So I hope that you got some value out of this video. It was a little bit longer than I usually go, but I had a lot to say this morning, and I hope that it was valuable. I'm out.